Good morning from the mountain from the behind the hill. If you know Thailand, that's Koh Samed there behind me. Thai flag flying, which is always in real good colours. So, Danny Rohl. It kind of feels as if he's been here 6 months. I wish he had been here 6 months. Things would be slightly different. I would think we'd certainly be challenging Hearts at the top of the league, and we wouldn't have lost it. We would have beaten Celtic at Ibrox. Who knows what would have happened in the semi-final? Cup games are a bit different, as you know. I'm very happy he's here. Extremely content with where we are with him. 3 league games, 3 wins, solid wins as well. Could they have been better? Absolutely. Now, he's what I did like when I saw he was meeting the staff at the club. I thought, well, why didn't you do that earlier? Then it dawned on me. He did the right thing. He got in. He got his two staff members in with him, and his focus at first was getting the first team playing football, winning matches. You know, he could wait till, and if he was to meet the staff at Ibrox, it would have been rushed. Whereas he's done it during the international break, which meant he's in there. And from what I understand, he went in and he took time with the staff. He talked to people. There was no time limit. It wasn't as if, look, I've got to be someone half an hour. And also, he'd spent time with the Union Bears, and that's important too. The young team are. I love the Union Bears. Okay, sometimes they have a little mess up here and there, but so what? They're young and they try their nuts off for our club and our fan base, you know, generating the atmosphere. And I also read that he helped the Union Bears with the tifo against Roma. That is just brilliant. You know, he's a football man, and I know everyone, you can say that about everyone that's involved in football at high level, but this guy really likes football. 36, he's still young, still a boy. You know, to me anyway, that's old farts like me. But I think the future's good with him. And I say that with caution because, as you know, I was quite, Russell Martin will be okay. You know, but that was me trying to be positive. But this is different, this guy's different, you know, because, excuse me, it's still early. There isn't a bad report from Danny Rowe from previous people that have worked with him. Bayern Munich, German national team, to be employed by them is a big deal. You know, I don't care what anyone says, and I know people try and throw you, but he wasn't the first team manager. He wasn't the manager. Come on, man, learn about football, learn about those two teams. He's now done an assessment. He's obviously sat down, or he's probably sat in his house and wrote down, and with his coaches or in his office at Auchenhowie, whatever, and probably spent hours writing down what he thinks needs improved and it'll be from the youths to 11 at start at Ibrox, you know. And I think we can see. I mean, I'm not going to mention players, but I think we can see roughly who might not be there next season. You know, I think. See with Chermiti, I don't know if he's been forced to play him or not. I don't think so. I think he maybe does see something in the lad, you know. And I know he's not proved it at all to us, but you've got to remember, guys like coaches know football better than us. So we'll see what happens in him. They're not firing on all cylinders yet, and I do believe that this international break, although right now it's come on, we want the Rangers back. It did come at the right time for all involved, and from what we've read, it gave Danny Rowe time. I think he went home to Germany, spent time with his family. Obviously, we're bringing his family here. I'm sure when Rangers own a few flats around Glasgow anyway, he's probably in the same flat that Russell Martin was in, you know, at the West End. But he'll be house hunting and things like that. So I think, you know, it's working out well, the timing, because and then that's the one I was going to go for. The Scottish player, ex-player, he's going to bring in as a coach. There was no need to rush him in as well. That's a similar situation to say meeting the staff. So right, I've got my two main guys in. Let's take our time and bring in the Rangers-minded ex-Rangers coach, ex-Rangers player that's got his coaching badges in during this period, as in now. There was no rush for that. I know people wanted them in now, but let's see. If I had a pick, I would have big Duncan Ferguson. You know, and Duncan's a big presence. Last night when I was talking about Duncan in the live, I said, well, maybe Duncan's a bit too big a personality, too brash. for being in a coaching role, and it might kind of be, do I really want, Danny Rowe might think, do I really want a guy with that kind of oomph? But somebody said, it was, I remember who said it, but I won't say their name because just in case it's wrong, said Duncan Ferguson said he's focusing on coaching now, and he knows he can't be that player that was on the pitch, strangling people, and let's be honest, he banged in goals. But I think he would be great at Rangers, but I don't think it'll be him. Out of the others, and listen, we were talking about it on the live last night. We were trying to work out, is there an ex-Rangers player from left field that could come in that's got coaching experience? And I can't think of one. I mean, we've got Neil McCann, Billy Dodds, Lee Wallace. Who else is there? I forgot them all as well. This is why I should write stuff down. But, if I was to pick out of them, I would actually go for Neil McCann. I like him as a person, and when we hear him commentate, he's very wise. Also, to contradict myself, we also know it doesn't always mean they're going to be a good coach because they talk well on the telly. But he's had coaching roles. I think he was at Dundee. I think, did he stand in for B. John Robertson up at Cali Thistle, I think. So that's who I would pick. I think that's who I think it will be. I think it'll be between him and Lee Wallace. So watch this. It'll be somebody completely left field that we don't hear about. But I would have Big Dunk. I think that'd be a great guy. He would. Imagine looking at Big Dunker on the sidelines now. I know he's not at the best of starting coaching, but he's been there and done it, and he would be willing to learn it. And I think he'd be a great addition. I know he's kind of. I believe when you listen to him talk, I think he's a brilliant talker, and I think he's kind of fallen out with the love of the Rangers because he grew up a Bear. Because remember when he scored his first goal for Rangers, he started crying, which me and you would do, So I think that would be a good guy, Big Dunk on the sidelines there as well. Excuse me, there's a presence there. Although I think it was only 12 games he played for Rangers, he grew up a Bear. But I still think, again, I still believe it's probably going to be between Lee Wallace and Neil McCann. I think between them. When that will be decided, I'm not sure. I would quite like it to be the next week. Because like you watching this right now, you're thinking, well, why not just do it? It's not as if these guys have got contracts anywhere with other clubs. But then that makes me think maybe they're getting somebody that we've forgotten about that is contracted, and we've got to do a deal with the club he's with. We've got to sign him. We've got to pay a transfer fee essentially. But Danny Rohl, out of 10 since he's been here, 8. The European games, can we hold them against him? Not really. But then again, against Roma, okay, we get beat 2-0, and Roma, let's be honest, Roma totally controlled that game. If we had taken it to 2-1, they would have scored 3. But in the same token, if that was a Russell Martin team, we'd have been given 5-0 or something like that. I like Danny. I like him as a person. I like the way he deals with the fan media and the mainstream media. Because from what the guys have said, we saw his first presser that he went around and shook everyone's hands. Apparently, he does that after every press conference. And I wouldn't be surprised, being a young guy, being brought up with social media, being brought up with the internet, it wasn't a new thing for him at any point in his life. He grew up with it. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the big, your Heart and Hands, etc., the Rangers rabble. I love the Rangers rabble. I love the guy Martin on Rangers rabble. I listen to him intently. I listen to all of you. I know none of these will watch this, but I listen to them all. I wouldn't be surprised if you all get an email or a private message saying, "Do you want to come to Ibrox on such and such a day to meet Danny?" I wouldn't be surprised if he sits down with the fan media one day over a lunch or a breakfast or something inside Ibrox, and he'll give you the all day and all night as well. It might be a kind of off the record one. It might be like, please don't record this, but obviously you're going to report on your podcast. But I would not be surprised if the chap did that, because he just comes across like that. Not mainstream media. I'm talking the guys that do that do this stuff. Not me, obviously, but you know what I mean. I think that's the kind of person he is. I'm pretty sure he's all over social media as well, watching. Why wouldn't he be? Because why wouldn't anyone be? I'm sure Russell Martin was. He says he didn't look. I remember Russell Martin saying he didn't look at social media, but then he more or less quoted one of the. I think he more or less quoted one of the podcasts word for word. But anyway, I hope you all have a good Monday. I'm actually looking forward to a lot to the Scotland match tomorrow. I will talk about that on the page tomorrow. But, no, the worst view in the world. And apparently there's 3 wild tigers up here. So that's what my daughters tell me, the local legends. So if you see me ever getting munched live on live on Facebook, I'm sure that'd be quite amusing for a lot of people. But have a good Monday. Have a good week. Cheers. What a magnificent view. Still a wee bit of morning haze there, so it's what time's it? 7:35. Our house is over behind the bushes there over.